Hello, and welcome to Season 2 of Marriage in Real Life with your hosts, Eric and Patsy Richards. Marriage in Real Life is a podcast about two imperfect people with an imperfect marriage. This podcast aims to help listeners to know that God, who is perfect, can use your imperfections and your imperfect marriage to help others. So let's laugh and learn. I hope you enjoy the episode. And welcome to Season 2 of Marriage in Real Life with your hosts, Eric and Patsy Richards. Marriage in Real Life is a podcast about two imperfect people with an imperfect marriage. This podcast aims to help listeners to know that God, who is perfect, can use your imperfections and your
Well, welcome to Marriage in Real Life. All right. Well, it's a little technical difficulties here, but I think it's good. Let's see here. Make sure we are live.
One thing I would say that before we
I don't know why. What's going on? Now I can't get back to. Is it live?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good to go. Well, all right. So we're here. All right. Let's get.
Lost you for a second there, huh?
Yeah, lost it for a second. You know. So I'm so glad that hey, they can see imperfection.
Imperfect.
Right? They can see it.
Absolutely.
All right. All right. Well, we're ready to get started. We see that there's a number of that's in there watching with us. And so please tell us where you're watching. Hey, Ferg, how you doing, Ferg? Hey, how's it going? All right. Give a shout out to Ferg.
Hey, Ferg.
All right. Thank God for him being here. We see the numbers are jumping up. Please tell us where you're watching from. We want to know where you're watching from. And we just want to give you a shout out, so when you're watching with us, we love to give shout outs, right?
Hey, Jordan.
Jordan is with us. Oh man. Hey, Jordan, how you doing? Hey, Jay, how you doing? Give a shout out to Jay.
Nice.
All right. Hey, come on. Tell us where you're watching from. If you could put down the city. We know that Ferg is watching from North Carolina. And we know Jordan is watching from Lauderhill? Yeah, that's Lauderhill, Inverary area. Yeah, that's we know that. We know they're watching. So put it in the chat where you are watching from. Well, I am Eric.
And I'm Boss Lady P.
Boss Lady P. And we're here for Marriage in Real Life.
Oh, man. Port St. Lucie in the house.
Port St. Lucie in the house. Come on, let's give it up for Warren. Hey, Janelle is in the house.
Right,
hey, Janelle. Hey, that's Orlando, right?
Orlando.
All right.
Atlanta's
We got
in the
Melissa
house.
in the house.
Hey,
All
cousin.
right. How you doing? Atlanta's in the house. All right. Hey, boy, look at here. They are in the house today. Hey, all right. So we thank God for each and every person that's in there, So this is Marriage in Real Life again. Hey, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know it's kind of rough for you. It's been kind of rough.
Yeah.
It's been a rough 2 weeks. Do you want to talk about it in front of, to the, let people know, or do you want me to talk about it, or you don't want to talk about it, or what's up?
You can talk about it. I'll chime in.
You chime in? All right. Well, the 2 weeks, since our last podcast, all right, we had some bad news. We had some unfortunate news. I know everybody, probably everybody who's watching or probably heard about the tornado in Clarksville, Tennessee. And we got word that a dear friend of ours, and more close to Patsy than me, but because y'all been friends almost 40 years, I would say, right?
For a long time.
For a long time, and her second oldest son is your godson, our godson. And so we got word that she passed in the tornado, She was one of the 6 that passed, And she was up there visiting her son. They was going to be up there for a month, just chilling, And man, unfortunately, she passed. We had a funeral on Saturday. I say you handled it like a champ.
Hmm.
To give you, and I know it was hard. Since you heard it, and just want to say I'm proud of you, baby, and I'm
Thanks.
been praying for you.
Thank you.
And I know it's man, it's like we were saying. We was talking to her son yesterday. I mean, it had to take a F3 tornado to take her out because she's been through some things.
Yeah.
She had been through some things. If man, if we just tell half of her story, you just don't know. And looking at her, I would say this: looking at her, I don't think nobody would have ever known what she went through.
Right.
You know what I mean? So she never showed what she went through, and that is a testimony to her. But that's also something for marriages.
Mhm.
Is that people, they don't need, as we said last time, they don't need to know what all is going on in your marriage, and also you don't have to show warnings of your marriage.
Right. Right.
Many a times, there have been times, not many a times, but there have been times where we have had a disagreement before we come to church.
Mm-hmm.
But people in church would never know that we had a disagreement. Right?
Absolutely. Right.
Because they would never look at our marriage and say, oh man, they about to, they're looking at, oh boy, it's trouble in the house. It's trouble in the house, and so just a testimony to Donna is that, man, she did not look. She always had a smile on her face, and she never looked, to me. I'm just going to speak for me. Everybody have their own experience with a person, but to me, she never looked like what she'd been through. And I knew her story. I knew half of it. I knew some of it. What are you told me?
Hey.
Yeah, but she never did look like it. She never did, And so, do you want to comment, or you just want to move on? I know it still affects you. You're still sad. I mean, 40 years, man. I know that, and so I thank God for the kids who reached out. I thank God for our family who reached out. Just held you up in prayer. Because that was a hard thing. That was a hard thing. All right.
Difficult.
It was difficult.
It was very difficult. Something that I never thought that I would have to do. But we're just passing through here. Heaven is our home,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess that's what really kept me focused. I mean, I'm still like emotional.
Yeah, you still emotional. I'm emotional too.
Roller coaster.
Yeah,
but I'm grateful. Thank you, cousin. Thanks I appreciate it. Just keep praying for me. Is when someone become part of your life like that.
Y'all were sisters.
we were sisters. We
Mhm.
argued. We fought like siblings. We made up. We argued. But I just considered it a great honor and a pleasure to have been part of her life.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Wow. All right. Thank you for sharing, baby. Thank you for sharing. All right. I know that was hard. Hey, but we're here. We're here tonight. We're here tonight. Our subject tonight. We want y'all to chime in when you can. 5 ways to have a Merry Christmas in your marriage. It says joy to the world. We want to have joy in our marriages. All right. Hey,
Amen.
that's a good.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
right
that's a
there.
good right there. We want to have joy in the marriage, not just joy in the world, but we here to talk about marriages. Before we get into that, there was a video, but we're not gonna show it. We're gonna leave that video. I keep that video in my mind for the marriage retreat.
Okay.
That I think that is a very important thing for the marriage retreat. Because
How you gonna do that and just throw it out there and then just leave
Don't
it
say
lingering?
well, I don't, because first of all, I don't have it to play.
Okay.
But I will comment and say I think he could have said it a different way, but men do have egos. Men do have egos, and I believe. Don't say.
Don't say.
Do I have any women out there that agree with that?
Absolutely.
Men have egos, and oftentimes we want to say to our other guys, right? We want to say to other guys and other people, and we don't want to be straightforward. We want to say, well, she done had these babies and she ain't getting back to it,
She ain't getting back to what?
She ain't getting back to, the slim trim, person.
She ain't get back to that 10 that.
Yeah, whatever, or she ain't, she ain't taking care of herself. She ain't doing this, and
letting herself
she's
go.
letting herself go, right?
Mm-hmm.
But oftentimes, you look down on a man's gut and the belly is hanging over, right? Hanging over the belt.
And
right?
you say like he letting himself go.
Yeah,
Just look
he
at
ain't
him.
talking about he ain't talking about himself. He ain't talking about what he's
So
not
why
doing.
is that? Because men always seem to want to have their little dime piece on their hand, no matter how huge they are, no matter how out of shape or unhealthy they are. They want their woman to look good, but we want the same thing.
Of course.
We want the same thing, right, ladies? We want you to be looking all fit. And
Yeah.
we want you to
I
look
don't know.
good,
You don't want no
too.
belly hanging over. You may have a little pudge, but you don't want
I
no
don't
little
mind a little
little
pudge.
pudge.
I don't mind a little pudge, I don't mind a little pudge.
You don't mind a
But
little
yeah,
pudge,
so
yeah.
we kind of feel, we got some new people on. Hey, Sister Yumei. Hi, Lucille.
Hey.
We y'all want us to be fit and looking good
Right,
and
right,
all
right.
that, and we want the same thing. So it's kind of like let's do this for each other. Not only that, it's healthy.
Yeah.
You can live longer.
But
you
not
know?
only in health, but mental, sexual,
Mhm.
and so that video really showed, because he really was telling the truth. I mean, honestly, he could, he started out with something, but he was telling the truth. And like he said, if a lot of times in counseling
Mhm.
and in just being straightforward, that a woman would tell a guy, this is really how I feel.
But we wouldn't do that because we don't want to hurt y'all feelings.
But that's the problem.
But y'all don't have a problem hurting ours.
And that's the
making
problem.
us feel obsolete or not making us feel non-sexy. And
But that's a problem. That's a big problem. Men should be able to take what, hey, if something is going wrong in the marriage, well, for instance, you'll say, hey, you ain't communicating right. Now, something like that, you'll say. But why can't you gotta say, hey, you're getting a little pudgy there, something.
because
See,
we love you guys unconditionally and it doesn't matter to us. We love you guys.
But I don't think no man is going to come out and tell his wife you're getting fat anyway. I would hope not. But I put it like this: if we're going to be leaders in the house, we got to be able to take constructive criticism,
Constructive criticism. I agree.
right?
Mhm.
Because we're in this thing together.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I want you to be able to. I may not like it, and then as a pastor too, I got to understand too, when I'm preaching the word of God, right? It says the sword cuts, right? And so when people, I'll be like, hey, that's what the word says. That's exactly. So if we're in this together, I got to be able to take the criticism from my wife, as long as it's constructive criticism and it's said in a way that is going to help our marriage, because we want our marriage to succeed, right?
Mhm.
So if you come to me about something, then I mean, the retreaters know what I'm talking about. They know, the retreaters know, because I was transparent with them, right?
Right.
And in some things. But if you come to me about, if you come to me about something, I got to be able to say, okay, babe, because it's not going right, and I got to make changes.
Absolutely.
Right.
The chat is going
The chat's
off.
going
This
crazy.
is
Oh, yeah, I
awesome.
ain't even reading the
Let
chat.
me just read this
Oh,
one.
Lord,
Well,
oh, Lord.
Ferg says a buddy of his with a huge belly said that his back hurt, and he said it's because your belly is heavy. Because you gotta. I love you, Ferg. You gotta lift that thing up, and then your son said that's why he hitting the gym, because I got to keep up with my dime piece
Piece of a wife. That's, hey, Jordan, look at her. Look at her. Look at her. I taught you well, son. I taught you well. All right.
Okay, Ferg, I like that too. Ferg say now flip it to where she is trying to keep up with you is okay. Sounds good. I love it.
Hey, that's like Melissa says, speak for yourself, cousin. I'm telling my hubby constructive, of course. Yes. Yeah, because that goes back when you said you don't want to hurt the feelings, and so, hey, sometimes, again, feelings, you know, I wouldn't say feelings, you put them on the side, but I got to say constructive criticism is good in a marriage, and you need it in a marriage.
I agree with that.
Right?
I do agree with that to some degree. So you just don't want to belittle a person to the point where you're bruising their self-esteem.
Yes, you don't want
be gentle. Remember, we talked about in previous podcasting about how to approach certain things,
Right.
even how to argue
that.
healthy.
Yes.
So it's a healthy way that you could tell a person that, yeah, you're getting a little thick around the middle,
a little thick around there.
or something like that,
Yeah.
and that's okay.
You're not fulfilling me.
Or you can say, well, babe, why don't you go walking with me? I'm gonna go for a walk.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
In there, and say, oh, okay, I'll go for a walk. Let's go for a bike ride. When you have two bikes that you don't ride.
You know what? It's like this. Stop complaining about your marriage and do something about it.
Let me get some of that.
Stop complaining and do something about it. What can you do? Stop complaining about your spouse and do something about it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Do it in a way that is constructive, and whatever. Like you said, if you're going out to your guys and you're gonna be like, well, my wife this and my wife that, and this like that, then my question, and I believe God is gonna ask you, well, what did you do as a leader? Right?
Yeah.
Because if you're not a true leader is a leader to have followers. You know what I mean? And is your wife following you? Maybe your wife is letting herself go because she see you letting yourself go. Yeah.
You have to also think about it too. Like when you're a young wife and you got little ones, it's like you running circles trying to keep the house maintained, trying to keep the kids entertained. And so whenever you can grab something to eat, you pop a donut in your mouth and keep going. So before you know it, picking up, but you have that daily chore that you have to continue.
You know what, babe? You are so right. But this is what we guys have to understand. Especially after a woman having baby, gaining weight or whatever, we don't want to have no babies. It takes. What y'all go. I could just imagine what y'all go through to have a baby.
Even your imagination,
it won't even be.
Come
on.
I can tell you this: if I could get you pregnant, you be
pregnant
every the day you die.
Oh,
we have so many kids.
Y'all hear that? We have so many kids.
We have so many kids. Every time you have one, baby, I'll be like, it's time to go, time to go again, because you're right. You're never really know.
We have a tendency to complain about the way you look, but we don't know what you went through. All the emotional. You taking another human being inside your body. You're not feeling like that. You know what I mean? Your emotions are not. Hey, this is what I used to look back. Whatever like that. So. We got to guys. We have to do better. I'm just talking from the guys because I am a guy, and I understand and I know how guys think. Right?
Okay.
So we got to be that. All right. Hey, we got them coming in.
We got them coming in.
We got Sister Barbara Stokes. Hey, Barbara Stokes, how you doing? Hey, Barbara, how you doing? All right.
So Lucille says, "Oh, my brother-in-law fine." Okay.
All right. Ferg says men have to learn how to have that ego bruise and hear what was said. Is what was said true?
This is true. I agree with that.
If it's true,
absolutely.
You gotta bruise it a little bit, but a little bruising and a little thing, it'll come right back. It'll come right back to you. Malika says, I am definitely tired with my little one running around, but having support helps. All right. All right. Hey, we got you,
You want to
Malika.
go to the gym? Just holler at me. Lucille say, yes, you would.
Yeah, she would. Yeah, Lucille. All right. Let's get this in. That was good. I enjoyed it. I think we're for the retreaters, we'll get deeper into that.
Yeah.
That's a
Okay, but next time if you don't have the video,
don't say nothing about it
because visual.
Yeah.
It helps. So
all right.
Yeah.
So okay. All right. I think I'm gonna have the video next time. We might have to hit it again.
We
all right.
We will. will, because the
Okay.
audience love it.
The
So
audience
there we
love it.
go.
All right, good. All right, so 5 ways to have a Merry Christmas in your marriage. We want to have a joy to the marriage. All right. So we know that this is the season of peace on earth, goodwill towards men, and everybody's supposed to be bumbly and silent night, and and all that. It makes no sense to have all that silent night and your marriage is going crazy. Because there's some things that you can do as a married couple to help in the marriage. So the first one is this. Listen and empathize.
Okay.
Listen and empathize. We got to be attentive to the burdens of your mate's heart. We got to empathize. Maybe like you said, you're running around cooking and cleaning and doing all that kind of stuff, and you going crazy like, oh, I ain't bought the presents yet, or whatever like that. As a husband, I got to be able to listen to you and empathize with you and say, okay, this is what Patsy's going through, and have empathy. That's one of the things we hit with the retreat. Man, you got to have empathy. We have to look at from our spouse's point of view. We must look at a situation from our spouse's point of view, because sometimes, and sit down and talk about it, because sometimes we take our spouses for granted, and we don't understand what our spouse is going through. We don't know if they had a bad day. We don't know it, and we need to empathize with them. What you got to say? What you think?
I agree, but I see this question on here that we're like, what if they don't want to hear what you have to say and thinks that they're always right?
Then if they don't want to hear what you have to say and they think they always right, first I would say have a sit down in a atmosphere where they can feel more comfortable.
That's true too, but do you think that could be based on culture too? Because sometimes when men feel like they're the head, that they've been raised that way, and that's what they saw, and that's the behavior that they bring into their
Yes,
relationship.
definitely.
So it's kind of hard to maneuver them, especially when they're set in their ways, but they don't realize how much of a damage that it does to the communication in the marriage.
Yeah.
So empathy, it plays a very, very,
Very
big
important,
role.
very important role, because like you say, culture does that. And not only do they do that to the wife, but they do it to the kids.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Hey, you just be quiet and do what I say and just keep on moving. And again, that was something I had to learn.
Yeah.
That was something I had to learn. The girls and Jordan and y'all taught me that. I'm about to say, I tell you that I because it's like being in the military, and also the culture is like, hey, just keep on moving. Let's keep on doing. Let's keep on going. But again, like Ferg says, when we have a family meeting and that ego is getting bruised, after the meeting, I have to sit back and say, oh, they are right. Right?
That
And I
was
need
a
to-
horrible family
that was a
meeting.
horrible family meeting, but it was worth it. All right, it was worth it. All right. So simply saying to we have to get empathy in a marriage. We must. And if a person don't want to hear it, then you have to try your best, maybe with counseling, going to your pastor, and not necessarily that you complaining, but this is something that needs to happen, because part of communication is listening.
Mm-hmm.
Part of communication is listening, right?
Active listening.
Active listening. We must active listening. And so simply saying, tell me more and then listen, that's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And not tell me more and look at the TV and talk about, yeah, I hear you. No, put down the phones, put down everything, and just listen. So that's why I said sometimes going out to dinner. Communication is listening, right?
Active
So
listening.
active listening. We must.
What we got going on here?
I don't know. All
We're
right.
having a moment today, huh?
Yeah, we having a moment today.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And then I think starting in small steps, write them a letter. This is how I feel.
Okay.
Can we discuss this Saturday at 2:00 in the living room in front of on the couch?
Mm-hmm.
Can we have a discussion about what, this is my concern. I don't see how we can move forward if we don't attack the task at hand right now.
Right. Definitely.
So,
Yes.
and if that don't work, then maybe move to counseling with your pastor or
Mhm.
someone that don't know either of you.
Right. This is what James says. It says, "This is, my beloved brethren, but everyone must be quick to hear, slow to speak, and slow to anger, for the anger of man does not achieve the righteousness of God." Right?
Amen.
Everybody be quick to hear. See, this is what happens, babe. A lot of times, especially men, we'll go to that slow to speak, but we forget the quick to hear.
Mm.
We'll skip over the quick to hear.
Mm.
You see how that verse,
Wow,
I says,
I never really thought about it like that, but that.
you see how that verse, it tells you, it gives you, what's the word, progression of how to look. The first thing you got to do, you got to be quick to hear. Don't speak so much over your partner. Be quick to hear. And so I would say if your spouse is a person that goes to church and stuff like that, just sit down like you said. Hey, let's look at this biblically. Let's look at this thing. We got to be quick to hear. We got to be quick to listen to each other, quick to hear what you got to say, and slow to speak, and then slow to anger. For the anger of man does not achieve the righteousness of God. All right, that's it right there. All right, what we going on? Number two is a good one. We're gonna pray.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna pray. Yeah, we gotta pray. All right, so you can't discount the power of prayer. You can't discount the power of prayer for your spouse. We should always be praying for our spouse.
Always.
I get tired of going to conferences and all I hear about, we hear it all the time. Where it's the women is always praying for the spouse. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you especially in ministry. Oh, yeah, you're there to help them. You're there to support them. You're there to support them. And then on my conference, you know what I hear? I don't hear that, oh, yeah, you're supposed to support your wife. You're supposed to help her. As she's helping you, you're supposed to help her. She has dreams too. It's not all about your dreams. It's about she has dreams. She's an individual too. Mm-hmm. And I don't hear. This is what I don't hear. And I'm honestly, when all of these conferences that I hear where we be split up, I do not hear. I've never heard pray for your wife. And you can tell I'm getting mad now.
Yeah,
I don't hear it. Pray for your wife. It's always the wife praying for the husband. But we should be praying for one another. And as a leader, I should be praying for you and praying for the kids. Amen.
Yeah, I pray for you.
Huh?
I pray that the Lord cover you so I don't kill you.
Okay. All right. I'm glad. All right. So Robert thinks. So what if they don't want to go? What if they don't want to go to counseling? Man, that is such a hard thing, man. When that is a time when if you have a spouse that there's trouble in the house, and there's trouble in your marriage, and you're trying to do the right thing. Now you're doing the right thing. You whatever you're doing what you're supposed to do. As far as the Ephesians doing, you're not worried about what they're supposed to be doing, but you're doing what you're supposed to do. Right? I think it goes back to number 2, pray.
Absolutely.
You gotta. I'm talking about you need to pray and fast.
Let me just intervene here.
All right.
Sometimes you praying, and nothing is changing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think at that point you just have to lay that thing at the Lord's feet, and I really don't even know, because sometimes you can just pray, but a person like I've said from day one when we started this journey on this podcast, you can't get in the boxing ring and fight by yourself.
Right.
The devil is in there, and that's your opponent, but you're gonna need somebody to tag with. So how you gonna fight for a marriage when your partner, when your tag team person is not fighting with you?
That's hard.
You have to be on one accord. You have to be willing to make it work. You have to be willing to, not cross boundaries, but set up some type of communication, set some boundaries.
Yeah. That's hard, babe.
Yeah, I know it's hard, but
I'm saying it's hard to be in a marriage where you are doing the 100% of the work and your spouse is not doing anything, and there's a problem, and you say, "Hey, babe, we need to go to counseling." Oh, I don't do counseling. Counseling for weak people. But there's a problem, you know, and I think it goes back to what you said one time ago. You should never be in a relationship where somebody is bruising your self-esteem, because that's abuse. You're trying to you're trying to you're supposed to be working together. You're supposed to be doing all this kind of stuff together, and your self-esteem is gone because your man or the wife is bruising you. And so again, faith without works is dead.
Absolutely.
Prayer, you keep praying and you keep
Changes
praying. Prayer changes things. Prayer
Because
changes
in the
things, but
process of the praying, it may be changing you.
yeah, it may be
You
changing
be
you.
praying for somebody else and God be working on you. But I like what Ferg said about, nothing touches a woman more than a man that humbles himself before the Lord. And that is so true. That's the most attractive thing to me. You can be all of this and you can have bank and all of that. But if you don't love the Lord and you're not following God, it does nothing for me, So
I think what you said to me a while ago really humbled me and really got me when you told me that as long as you following God, I'll follow you.
absolutely.
And I believe that's how I believe every wife should go to her husband and says, "Look, as long as you following God, I'm with you. The moment you stop following the word of God,
I'm gone.
hey, this ain't gonna work.
Absolutely. It's not going to work.
It's not gonna work.
Because I'm looking at you as the spiritual leader of the family. And if you start wandering off and doing things, I don't think I'm not noticing it, because I am.
And you leading us?
And you're
You
not
leading
going to
me?
lead me and my kids to hell. So that's a big fat no.
So to lead it like a leader to hell, baby.
Lead us to hell. Oh no, the Lord, this man that you gave me, we got to get rid of him.
Oh, Lord.
That is so true. For prayer don't make you weak. It does not. It doesn't make you
man.
look weak. It actually builds very strong
Yeah.
trust, hope, and belief in God.
Mhm.
And that's what you need in order to have that wisdom and and that power to love unconditionally. And yeah.
And so sometimes like when go back to the barbers, sometimes you have to get some people that you can trust and intercede. I mean, really get down into
Accountability
yes.
partners.
Get somebody who's going that they not going around the church telling your business. They're not going around, but they are praying for your marriage. I mean, they're interceding, because look, there's nothing too hard for God.
Absolutely not.
There's nothing too hard for God. And like you say, while you're praying for yourself, and you're doing what you're supposed to do, and you have some true intercession for that, and I believe it'll work.
Absolutely.
I believe.
Too.
So, even if sometimes, like when I come home and you over there asleep, I just reach on over there and I'm praying for you.
I be asleep.
Oh yeah, you're knocked out now. Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah. And see, and when I leave in the morning before I leave, because now you're asleep and I'm headed out, I always, put my hand on you and I always pray for you. I always give you that kiss. I always pray for you first before I kiss you goodbye, because I feel like while you're at your most vulnerable state, I need to make sure that you're covered and that the enemy is not going to come in and try and attack you in your restful state.
Wow.
Because I need you spiritually, mentally, physically to be okay, so I want to make sure you're covered. Lucille said something about what if both people are praying but not for the same thing? Then they need to get on one accord.
You need to get on.
Sit down, write a list. Listen, this is what we want. We want a home. We want to do this.
Yes.
We have to be on the same accord.
We have to be saying whether 2 or 3. Right?
Right. I gather, yes.
Right?
3 are gathered together in his
So
name.
it's very
He's going to be in the
powerful.
midst.
All
yes.
right. So James 5:16 says, "Therefore confess your sins to one another and pray for one another." All right?
Mm-hmm.
Confess your faults.
Confess your faults.
Confess your faults. Confess, hey, this is what I'm lacking in. I should be able to come to you and say, this is what I'm lacking in. And then we're going to pray that you may be healed, so that our marriage may be healed. Because the prayer of a righteous person has great power as it is working. What you saw down there, looking down there?
Oh, I'm just looking at the comments. The guys, keep them coming, because it keeps the conversation going. But we do need to get to number 3.
Yeah, we just get to number 3. All right, because it's 8 o'clock. All right.
What? It's 8 o'clock already?
Yeah. All right, number 3 is be peace-filled. All right? Because one gift you can give your spouse is a calming presence through the season, through the Christmas season.
Like a nice foot rub.
Oh, Lord. Oh, boy. So a lot of times we say, man, I just need peace. But one of the characteristics that's in Galatians is peace. You have peace. We have to recognize the peace that's in us and say, God, just let me exercise the peace that you've already given me, because God can give you peace through no matter what, babe. And I know these last 2 weeks, God put his hand on you and gave you peace, and that's why it says as a marriage, you got to be peace filled. That's why I tried to be there as much as I could to keep you at a calm, and sometimes as a leader, you can't, you want to break down, but you can't break down because look, I'm leading and I gotta keep you calm because I need you calm, and so if you want your marriage to have joy in the marriage this Christmas season, be peace. Don't argue about stuff that don't make no doggone sense, right? Don't argue about crazy things, don't argue about that. Just bring peace on earth. That's what Jesus brought, peace on earth, peace in your marriage.
Exactly. So when the credit card bill started, right?
No. Ain't no peace coming in.
Peace. It's the holiday season. I need you to be at peace.
Oh, when the credit cards come. All right.
When you get the bill, just remember that. But yeah, that is so important. And I never really understood the peace that surpasses all understanding until, like when my grandmother passed. No, actually, when Donna passed, and I was like, Lord, I don't know how I'm going to manage this. I don't know. I don't know what, I just didn't know. And God gave me some peace in that a little bit. And then my grandmother again, and then now this weekend. But out of the whole thing, you did bring me peace. You were supportive, and you held me up. I appreciate that.
I did. A lot of times, we like, man, just get over it. Not me. I'm just saying, come on now, get up. Because as I was telling a godson, not everybody grieves the same.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that piece. So this person, it says, so when you feel your own stress, when you start feeling stressful, you need to start feeling coming, because you can feel it when it comes. Sometimes it overwhelms you, come like that. Sometimes you can feel stress. That's when you simply need to breathe a prayer to God and ask him to replace your stress with peace.
Yep.
Look what Colossians 3:15 says, that let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts. That's what it says. Let the peace of Christ rule it. So you can either have chaos ruling or you can have peace. And so we, as Bible-believing people, or people that really have hope, we believe that Christ can rule our hearts.
Absolutely.
All right. All right. So let's go down to the next one. Let's go to the next one here. All right. So let's recap a little bit. So number 1 was listen and empathize. We got to listen and empathize. Number 2, we got to pray. We must pray. That should probably be number 1. Number 3, be peace filled. We want to be peaceful. Number 4 is a good one. We want to be helpful during this Christmas season.
Yeah.
We want to help one another.
Yeah, like in the kitchen, like when you're cooking.
Yes.
And
yes.
because like when we cook, it's always a dirty dish because we might have to use that bowl again. So we like over here trying to do the cornbread stuffing. Now it's time to do the cake. So helping out in the kitchen doing, that would be great. That would be so, and keeping the trash out because the trash is always filling up.
Yes.
And then making that run to the store.
You know what? I believe this is what I
don't know, ladies. I'm just saying that would be so helpful.
I don't do that. I make sure that trash will get emptied
Yeah,
now.
you even you do,
Yeah,
you do.
when you be in there
But you
cooking
don't
and
wash
stuff
no
like.
dishes. I mean,
But
well, if
sometimes,
unless I call and I ask.
yeah,
If I ask you,
yeah.
I do, but I shouldn't have to ask you.
But if if I'm watching the game and you're in there cooking, like you and Jordan was in there cooking, y'all was handling things.
Yeah, we were.
But
We
then
had
when
a
I
great
came in
time.
there, cooked the little pies there, I did my little thing too, right?
Yeah, you did.
All right. So, but yeah, that's a good way. I would say this: if a couple is having this just hit me. If a couple is having a communication problem, cook together.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I'm not talking about no hot dogs.
No, like find a recipe.
Find a recipe and cook together.
All right, cousin, you heard that? You and
Yeah.
Ty should be cooking something up. I know Ty be cooking.
Yeah, Ty be cooking
Go
now.
in there and help Ty cook.
Yeah.
Wash the dishes.
Yeah. Look, cook together. And while you're cooking, you gotta communicate.
Yeah.
You have to communicate.
You have to put yourself in situations where you know how they say open-ended questions. So you have to put yourself in situations where you have to respond and you have to, you have to dialogue and talk about what you're doing. So that's a good way for communication. And it's fun. We cook together
Yeah.
sometimes. I'll be like, hey, you want to help me? And you'll come in and you'll cook,
right.
So I think that would be great.
Yeah, like Ferg just said, it's teamwork.
It
And
is.
when you have teamwork, they say teamwork make the dream work.
Yeah.
And so we learned that in the Marines, and communication is key. And for our team to take the hill, we got to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
So if there is an object that both of you all, like I said, cooking is a good thing. You can sit down and watch a nice movie and communicate and tell, hey, let's talk about this movie. Let's go shop. If we shopping for Christmas presents, hey, let's communicate about who we buying, what we buying together. Let's agree on, hey, what we getting this person or whatever like that. So now you're really working on communication while you're doing all this kind of stuff, and you're not even thinking about you're working on communication.
Exactly.
But you are.
Yeah.
And so, look, even sitting down, I maybe not the husband's or favorite team of sports, but you sit down and just say, "Hey, what about this game? Can you tell me about this game?" And that's communication.
Yeah, but you don't really be wanting to tell me.
I do want to tell you. Yeah,
there's just so many different rules and regulations. So I just would be like, yeah, I'm gonna go back to Lifetime. But yeah, spending that time together to communicate and to talk, and sometimes you have to get to know each other again.
Jordan said we got a rule over here. If you don't cook, you do the dishes. Okay.
Ooh.
I like that. Lucia, I agree. And the Ferg
Well, she do a lot of dishes because I know she don't cook.
All right, cool. All right, look at this. All right, so the number five, and we getting ready to. Yeah, I see Ferg.
We working on it.
We working on it, Ferg. All right, number 5 is choose wisely. And what we're talking about when we say choose wisely, all right? So, with all of the myriad to-dos that you got to do to accomplish and activities to schedule, you would have to determine, and yeah, this is what you got to do. As a husband and wife, you got to determine together what is best. What is best? There's going to be some parties that you can't go to because it conflicts with your schedule. So you're going to have to, schedule in a time for the most important thing. You schedule in a time. We know church is important. We know prayer, devotion. We know that's important. And we know family is important. We know that. And and then there's non-negotiables that are important. And so we need to schedule all of this, and we need to choose wisely. And we got to learn to say no to some people. Yeah, we got to learn to say no. And that's a word that couples have to do. If you want to have a joyous Christmas, you got to learn how to say no to some people. Because you can't be everywhere, because people want you to go here, people want you to go there. Maybe your spouse wants you to do this, and your spouse, you say, look, baby, this is us. This is about us and our family, so you have to choose things wisely. What you got to say about that?
I agree. You got to block out that time,
Mm-hmm.
and you got to also put your phone down. focus.
Yeah.
Don't be on your laptop or your tablet.
Don't be
That's
trying
all.
to.
I'm just coming up with stuff that that's distracting.
That's distracting, huh?
You know, me too. I be on my phone. I'm not getting it twisted, but you got to take all of the distractions out of the moment, in order for you to be able to make that connection because distractions are there. That's what the enemy put there anyway to distract us.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're trying to communicate and not overbook your time in some other area,
Right.
because then, especially with it being the holidays, you cannot be too busy with so much at work and so much over here, or you can't be like, oh, Christmas morning, I'm gonna run to the gym. No. It's Christmas morning.
Mm-hmm.
I know you want to work out and go for your run and whatever, but it's Christmas.
Can you
morning.
spare just one morning? That's what can you just spare one
Yeah.
morning just to hang out with the family, hang out with
Remember
me?
last Christmas it was just the two of us? That
Yeah.
was wonderful.
No, it wasn't. I miss my kids and I miss my grandkids.
Really?
Yes.
I couldn't wait to go back to sleep. I slept all day. And we
Yeah.
went to the movies.
Yeah, we did, but it's
but
still.
but sometimes we have to steal away and do our own time. We raised them.
I know,
we
but
gave
it's
them the tools
Christmas
that they
time.
need
But
to
it's
be
Christmas
out there
time.
and be successful. And we can go to eat. Well, Jordan's right up the street now. We
Yes.
can go to Chicago one Christmas. We can go to Nikki one Christmas. And one Christmas it can just be us now.
Man.
Okay, so the Christmas you want to spend with your kids, I'll take a trip.
No, we ain't being separate now on Christmas now. Come on now.
We'll talk about this.
We talking about it right now, right in front of everybody. Come on, I need somebody to back me up. We ain't gonna be doggone going separate ways.
I'm listening, cousin. Hubby loves cooking, so I let him have at it. I don't mind cleaning.
Yeah. Look, I mean, we ain't doing no separate Christmas. You can forget that.
Buddy, we have to compromise on not just what you want, but what I want. And sometimes I would just like for it to be just, I said I enjoyed. I didn't say every Christmas, but I said I enjoyed that Christmas when it was just the two of us. I didn't have to cook. I laid in bed, watched movies, and just did what I wanted to do because I didn't have to entertain. Because trust and believe, when the children are there, you know who's planning and organizing and picking and choosing. I am, no matter how much you say you want to help and you can't help, because you can only help in certain areas without me having to write down everything step by step. Come on, ladies. Come on.
Come on, ladies. This is between me and you. You up here talking about ladies.
Because I'm pretty sure every woman feel the same way. We don't mind y'all coming in and cracking an egg or peeling a potato, but everything you have to be given all directions.
But our kids are grown. They can cook.
Moving right along. What's number 6?
Ain't no number 6. It's 5 of them. That's all it was. It was 5 of them.
Let's go to the top and recap.
I don't have a touch on my Mac. It's all over here. It's all over here. Now we're talking about this here. This is communication here. All right. So, all right. Mm-hmm.
Hey, look, what Joy said, Christmas with the kids. Malika, I'm for TNT.
That's right. Thank you, Malika. I give you.
Well, I'll call y'all from the Bahamas or Jamaica.
That's right, Lucille.
Lucille
said, I agree, Eric. No separate Christmas. All right. Thank you, Lucille.
But we talking about separate Christmas from each other.
We not having no separate Christmas, baby. You can forget that. The only way the only way we have separate Christmas is one of us is gone to heaven. That's the only way. Other than that, we ain't have no separate Christmas. And I done told you, if I go before you, you better not be messing around with nobody because I'm going to come and haunt you. You got that? I'm going to be right there pulling out all of those drawers.
Wait a minute. That's what I'm going to do to you. But see, Malika's right. Hosting is stressful.
It is. I know.
It's a lot. So one Christmas I would like to be laid out on the beach in Hawaii somewhere, just chillaxing.
Okay. All right. I hear you.
They can come, but they better stay away from me.
Boy, I tell you. Oh, Lord.
But anyway, so those are the 5 top things.
So bring these 5
some
practice
joy into your Christmas holiday spirit.
Yes. We pray that we brought you a little bit of joy just tonight, just to hear one of our discussions that we have sometimes, just to have that,
Usually I just tell him, you crazy. I'm out.
All right, man. So yeah, these are the 5 practices into your marriages for this Christmas season. We want you to do them. Most of all, like you said, have that devotion time. Know that Jesus is the reason for the season, and when you with your kids, before you even open the presents, and it's all Now speaking as pastor, can I do that a little bit? Okay, as pastor, before you even open the presents, just remind everybody about Jesus being the reason. That these gifts is nothing if Jesus doesn't have our heart, because He wants our heart for Christmas. I preached this message. What will you give? I preached that before in Christmas, and so what will you give this Christmas? What will you give Jesus? Nobody likes to go to a birthday party and not give no gifts. Birthday parties don't change now. Everybody just show up and dance and eat and go home. But birthday parties used to be that, hey, you bring a present. Matter of fact, they got some birthday parties where they give the presents out to the people who come in. They got to have the birthday bags or something like that.
The treat bags.
Treat bags, But nobody wants to go to Jesus' birthday and not give Him something. So
give Him your heart.
Give Him your heart. That's what we want. That's what we want today. All right, so now it's time. It's time that we could call in. All right, we want to have people call in to what?
I was just reaching over touching you.
Why are you reaching over touching me? For what?
You don't want me to touch you? Oh, you all upset and got your undies in a bunch. Relax, man.
Jordan says if you ever visit the kids, you should get a hotel so you still have your own space.
When we came to Tampa, you wouldn't let us.
Mm-hmm.
What you talking about, dude?
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't let us. Mom, what do you mean? You got to stay here. But I didn't mind.
All right. So we want to be able to, that you can call in. All right. We still got a little time that you can call in. 754-222-2219. 754, the number's right there. 222-2219 that you want you to call in to the therapy. What you was getting ready to say? What's on your mind? Cause you keep looking over here like you want to say something. Huh? Nothing?
Nothing.
Okay. You keep looking over here like you want to say something. So you can say it.
No, I'm good. I am good.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right. I want to make sure that you're good now, because I don't want you to, go and tell nobody that I wouldn't let you speak or nothing like that.
No. Yeah.
None of that?
No.
Okay. All right. As long as, hey, I'm good with that. I am good with that.
I really enjoyed the topic as far as, for incorporating scripture and peace into your marriage, empathizing with the other person on how they may be feeling. And that was good.
That was good?
I enjoyed that.
All right. Okay. All right. Why you just keep looking at this? What I'm supposed to do?
I'm doing the bathroom.
What is going on with the phone? Who makes up the guest rooms, buy the tea, plans the meals and everything? All right. I'm not sure what's going on. All right. Well, if you want to call in, 754-222-2219, you can call in and we'll be glad to take your calls. Call in, dial 754-222-2219. You can call in. Please call in and we can, and we want you to remember to like and share this live stream. Like and share this live stream. Please like and share this live stream with somebody today. I want you to call on in, let us know. If we don't get any calls, we want to just thank you all for joining us today. As I often say, even in my prayer time, in prayer, say you could have been doing something else, but we thank God that you decided to just join us for this podcast. please, thank you for joining us with this for this podcast. Okay, all right. Barbara Stokes says I enjoyed the show. Says call you guys another time. Okay. All right, good. Well, glad you enjoyed the show, Barbara. Glad you enjoyed the show. All right. So anybody else want to make some comments? You can make some comments and we'll read them out. What Ferg say? Ferg says this. Y'all remember the Fergs read the Bible and they could only open a few presents throughout the day. Well, I like that, Ferg. I got to give you. That's good. All right.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I thought about it.
Yeah. All right.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
That's right.
Also, if you need prayer, we want to be able to pray with you. You can put that in the chat. All right. Izzy. Hey, Izzy, how you doing? Hey, Izzy. All right. This is the first time I'm seeing Izzy. Izzy usually, Izzy and Ferg usually keep the chat going. So yeah,
And Melissa.
Yeah, and Melissa. Yeah, and Jordan will be doing their thing too.
Thank you guys so much for communicating back with us. This is awesome.
Yes, we really appreciate you doing that. So yeah. All right. So we're getting ready to go. We're looking forward. When is our next one, babe?
Oh, let me look at my calendar.
Yeah, look at your calendar and find out when the next one is.
Okay, let me put you over here.
Mm-hmm.
Calendar.
That calendar.
18. The next one is the 31st.
It's the 31st?
Yeah.
No, the 31st is on a Sunday, ain't it?
Is it? Okay. The next one is January 1st.
January 1st, the new year, 2024.
January 1st. So it's going to be interesting to bring in the new year.
Bringing the new year on our podcast.
It's going to be what, a year?
No, February will be 1 year.
Will be 1 year?
February. I can never say February right. February will be 1 year that we've done the podcast, so we got to have a little celebration time for that 1 year type of podcast. All right. Well, again, we want to thank you for joining us. We want to really appreciate you. You could have been not doing something, but you decided to join us. You could have been watching football, or you could have been, doing something, but you decided to join us for a little hour tonight. And we want to say, we want everybody to have a Merry Christmas. What's so funny?
I can't with you, Ferg.
Oh, well, first says, Merry Christmas, everyone, and what a mighty God we serve. And still couples not to do a separate Christmas. I agree with that. I agree with that, Ferg. All right. Well, God bless. And we want to say good night to everybody. We want to say, please have a Merry Christmas.
Merry
If you're hearing this
Christmas. Thank
message,
you
you've
so
listened
much.
to the entire episode. And for that, we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We hope you enjoyed this new episode. And if you did, please rate and review our show on your favorite podcast channel. Please share this episode with others who may be interested in this topic. And also, feel free to let us know what topics you'd like to see covered in future episodes. Get in touch in the comments or on any social media networks at Marriage in Real Life Podcast. We'll see you in 2 weeks for our next episode.